Now tonight's bonus training webinar is about Azon 404 Takeover, but it's also about helping you to effectively recover and monetize your lost traffic. Now, this happens on the type of sites that I typically recommend building, Amazon affiliate sites, but honestly, it's something that happens on pretty much any kind of website. The two different kinds of traffic I'm going to be talking to you about tonight really happen on any website out there, but it kind of seems to be more prevalent on affiliate sites. So to start with, I'm going to go through the actual plugin just to make sure you understand how it works and also how to effectively use it. Now, there might actually be some situations where using this plugin may not be the best thing for your given situation. It really just kind of depends on what kind of site you have and what that lost traffic really is. So I'm going to be talking to you guys this evening about how to really identify that and figure out what these different scenarios are so you can figure out what best to apply to your own sites. Now to begin with here, Azon 404 Takeover is the reason why you guys are here. You purchased this particular plugin through my link. Now there's not a lot exactly to teach you about using the plugin itself. There's not a lot of guesswork here. It's just a matter of setting up all of your settings appropriately to get it running. But beyond using the plugin itself is really the most important stuff that I would like to talk to you guys about this evening in terms of whether you should really be using it or not, in which situations, and then I will also be teaching you some additional tactics to go along with that that can help you recover other lost traffic on your sites. So to start with here, I'm on the main settings page of Azon 404 Takeover. This particular page, it's all basic stuff, whether you want the plugin enabled or not. If you don't want to be using it on the site, or maybe you're not sure yet, you're still getting things set up, you can set it to disabled and it won't actually take effect on the live site itself. Now beyond that, this setting right here and also further down here, these are your two main country selection drop-down box settings. This determines what the main setting is going to be for your site basically, because this plugin will not only take care of Amazon.com, but if you're trying to utilize other locales on your site, then you can actually use this plugin for those purposes as well and redirect people to the proper advertisements from the proper websites. So for most cases, I will just have this set on US, and also up above I will have this set on US. This first setting here, if somebody visits the website and they're not one of the countries that is set up to be transferred to any one of the possible locales that you have configured in this plugin, then this is the country that they will default to. Now, we also have a color scheme setting here, a number of different options. You basically just want to pick something like it says here that's closest to your theme's main colors. And the reason for this is that the 404 page that this plugin is actually generating, it's taking over the entire page. It's not actually using your theme settings, so it may not look like it's actually part of your site unless you select the correct color scheme here to use. Now down below, our settings here are basic Amazon affiliate settings. We have our API keys and our affiliate ID, or possibly tracking ID if we're using something other than our main affiliate ID. And then again, just make sure you select your main locale that this applies to. Now beyond this, we can add more in the next tab. All of these different settings apply for each of the different Amazon locales that are available. So all you need to do is punch in your affiliate ID for each of these boxes if you would like to utilize them. You don't have to. You can only have it set up just using Amazon.com if you would like. Now we have a couple more settings down at the bottom. I would recommend keeping this first one set to yes. This is skipping products with no pictures. So when it shows results on these 404 pages, it's only going to pick out products that actually have a picture associated with them. Next up here, we have skipping products with ASINs. On Amazon itself, every product has an ASIN. You can find it down in the product details for that product, or even in the URL for every product on Amazon. If there are particular products that you see coming up on these pages that you know people are seeing on your site, and you don't want those products to be shown, maybe they're not converting for you or something, you can go through and simply list those ASINs right here, separate them all with commas, and it will exclude all those from the results being shown. Now the last tab here that I want to talk to you about before I move on to some other more interesting topics is the language tab. For all the different locales that you have set up where you have provided your affiliate ID, there will be settings here for languages. All the different portions of text that are actually displayed on your live website, these are all right here. So when it's showing a search result list to a person that is visiting your site based on a particular country, so if they're seeing Amazon Germany ads, then it will show all the corresponding text in German as well. Now, beyond this plugin itself, the real question is, what's actually going to cause this plugin to take effect? When is this plugin going to be used? And do you actually want it to be used in those situations? Now, just to show you exactly what this plugin does, let's say I have a link to a page on my site, or perhaps on another site pointing into my site. And maybe that link is not a valid link, so the page doesn't really exist. Well, let's say this particular link is somewhere on the internet, on my site or on another site, and this page doesn't actually exist on my live website. Well, this is when the plugin kicks in and it generates this 404 page for you instead of showing this standard WordPress 404 page, which really is not very helpful. So not only does this give them a way to browse through Amazon products, but the actual products that are being viewed here are based on a keyword phrase according to what your URL is. So the real question is not necessarily whether traffic is coming to your site on a bad link, but it's whether that bad link URL will actually correspond to Amazon products that relate to your niche that people are most likely going to be interested in purchasing, because you don't just want random nonsense to be showing up here, or this page really isn't going to do you a lot of good. People are never going to end up being interested in something that they're seeing here and clicking on one of these ads and proceeding on to Amazon to buy it. So the real underlying question here is, what kind of 404 traffic really exists on your website? How do you find this out so you can actually figure out whether you should be using this plugin or whether you should try another method to do something else with this traffic? Well, I recommend using a plugin that I already use on all of my sites. It's called Ultimate SEO. It's completely free. Just go to plugins and go to add new and search for Ultimate SEO. In this plugin, they have a 404 monitor. So I can actually go to this page and see what the most common pages are that people have accessed. And it gives me dates. It tells me the number of referrers. This would be the number of different pages either on my own site or elsewhere on the internet, the number of pages that actually link up to this missing page. And then the user agents are essentially the number of different people, but not unique people. A web browser, for example, is considered a user agent. But then the Google search crawler is also considered a user agent. So when you only have one user agent and one referrer, then this could possibly be something that was generated by a script, or it could have just come from one random person trying to find something that was on your website, perhaps. So you always kind of need to consider what the situation really is. Sometimes you can track down where the bad links are coming from by clicking on these refer lists right here, and it'll show you exactly where this traffic is coming from, what pages or what website they're coming from. So sometimes you may even be able to clean up this 404 traffic so it never has to land on that bad page in the end. But then ultimately, there may be some situations where people are visiting your site from other websites. Let's say somebody has created a link to your site to a page. Maybe it's a page that was old and it no longer exists anymore. Or maybe they just got the link wrong. Maybe they made a typo in it. So ultimately, that link is always going to be there, but you can't really do anything about it. These would be your types of situations where you're most likely going to have traffic coming in using a URL phrase that would actually translate into an Amazon search that's going to bring up products. But there will be other situations where it wouldn't bring up anything worthwhile at all. For example, any one of these top results up here, these missing pages, none of these would actually end up generating any kind of Amazon product ad that would end up doing me any kind of good. So the real question is whether this traffic is existing on my site or not. So identify exactly what the traffic is. Come back to this 404 monitor every now and again so you can kind of check up on it. That way you can make adjustments to your plan in the future, because some links may get created down the road that do not currently exist today. And while you may not have a need for it immediately, at some point you may end up having the need for it. So you always kind of need to be on the watch out for these missing pages and where they're coming from. So now if you're in a situation where you have a lot of 404 pages, missing URLs that really don't translate into Amazon product searches, so you can't really utilize Azon 404 Takeover with pages like these top couple of results. What exactly can you do in those situations? This is one of the things that I would like to briefly talk to you guys about, and then I'm going to also go on to show you a bit of a customized solution to recovering what I would call the most common type of lost traffic on any website across the entire internet. So if you have these 404 pages and you don't feel like Azon 404 Takeover is going to be a good fit for them, so these URLs are not going to translate into an actual Amazon product search, because that's what's going to automatically be searched in this plugin for you. In those situations, you can go to use other free plugins in WordPress. I would actually recommend one of two, and you can actually do one search to bring up either of these, and this is 404 to start. Now, either the 404 to start plugin or the 404 redirected plugin will do exactly what you want in that situation. Now, 404 to start is more of a generalized plugin. It can actually just redirect all of the 404 traffic on your site back to your start page. So instead of just trying to dump them off on a 404 page, you might just want to put them on the home page of your start site and see if they just want to start from the beginning. Now, another option, 404 redirected, is also useful because you can actually pick and choose and take specific dead links and redirect them to specific valid pages. Now, one other kind of situation where either of these two plugins might be useful is if you have ever purchased an expired domain name that has some kind of traffic on it that's coming in from other websites. A lot of people will commonly go out and purchase higher PR domain names because those domains are likely to have on your site if there is something relational, or you could just redirect them all to the home page of your site. Now, not only is this going to help to recover that traffic for you, but if it is an expired domain that had some type of Google PR on it already, you can actually recover some of that PR by taking those links that were no longer good anymore and turning them into good links. It's not that the link itself will automatically change into a correct location, but when somebody visits that incorrect location, they'll be automatically redirected to a correct location. And it uses what's called a 301 redirect, which just basically tells the browser or the crawler that the page has permanently moved. So when Google sees a 301 redirect, it reassigns everything associated with that page. So if there was PR associated with that page from the incoming links, then you can transfer all of this to new pages that are on your site. Or if there's nothing relational, just send it all back to your home page, especially if Perhaps it was an overwhelming number of links to where you didn't want to sit there and try to do them individually. Just send them all back to your homepage and you'll still recover a lot of the benefit from that, in addition to the traffic itself. Now, beyond 404 errors, the other type of lost traffic that other sites are generally seeing is bounce traffic. Bounce traffic typically occurs on almost every site throughout the entire internet. Bounce traffic is where somebody comes to your site and they don't proceed through viewing additional pages of your site and they just leave. Maybe somebody lands on your site through a search engine result and they just didn't find exactly what they were looking for right off the bat, and so they try to close the page down. Well, there is actually something that you can do to try to recover this lost traffic, because once they close your site down or navigate away to another page, they're gone forever. Well, a lot of people successfully use a number of different tactics to recover this traffic and actually monetize it. Now, not only can you do this with bounce traffic, but you can technically do this with any traffic once they're done browsing your website completely. Whenever they decide to go up and click the X button or to navigate away manually to a different page, perhaps by typing in a different web address, you can still try to get one last shot at getting a sale off of that traffic. In a lot of situations, once they're leaving your page, especially with affiliate websites, chances are you're never going to see that particular visitor again, because most affiliate websites are not sitting there generating recurring traffic where it's the same type of people coming back on a daily basis. So if you have one of those types of sites where you're just getting fresh traffic in all the time and you're not really having the same people come back through, and especially if you're not converting a lot of that traffic, or if a lot of that traffic is not actually browsing through your site and accomplishing the goals that you're looking to accomplish, then that would be the type of situations where you would want to use this next strategy that I want to discuss with you. Now, this one is a little more detailed and actually will be what I'll be spending the majority of tonight's class on. Now, to start with, there are two plugins that you're going to need to actually pull off this strategy. The first one is called ExecPHP, EXEC-PHP, and the next one is called Exit Screen Plugin. Both of these plugins are free. Just go to Plugins and Add New, or click on the Add New link up at the top of the page here, and simply search the name of these two plugins. Get them installed and activated on your site, and then we can proceed with the next step. Now, I've actually put together a little bit of a package for you guys tonight. I'm going to add in the address for you into the chat box, and for anybody who ends up watching this at a later point in time through the recording, the page where I provide this recording, you will also find a link to download this particular file. Now, this file is a zip file, and inside of the zip file are two additional files. It's one graphic file and one text file. The graphic file is something that we're going to be using on this next page that we're going to create, or that I'm going to show you guys how to create. And then the Text file basically gives you the bare bones instructions of what you need to do to try to carry this out. Now, to walk you guys through all of this, I'm going to show you exactly how this works. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Settings, and then I'm going to go down to Exit Screen. This is a page generated by the Exit Screen plugin. So what this basically does is exactly what I was describing to you before. When somebody goes to my live website and they immediately try to close it down or navigate away to a different page, or even eventually close it down after browsing through it for a little while, it will take one last shot with that traffic at trying to monetize it. Now, you could try to use this same strategy here really for any different type of purpose that you want to achieve on a website. Let's say you wanted to build a newsletter list. You could try to do so in the sidebar of your website, but then if people weren't signing up for that, you could also try to get them one last shot when they're leaving your website finally. So on this particular screen here, there's just a couple of settings that you need to provide. The first one here is a URL. This is going to be your exit screen. So whenever somebody closes down your page, this is going to be the page that they're going to see for the very last time before they're gone from your site forever. So this page would have that advertising or newsletter sign up or whatever other type of goal it is that you're trying to get off of those visitors. You put this on this page for one last shot at it. Now, there's this exit screen message right here. This really only appears in Internet Explorer. When somebody closes the page down, in order to actually stay on your site and view this particular page here, they have to actually choose to do so. They'll be given the option of leaving or staying on the page. And if they choose to leave, then they'll be able to carry out whatever action it was that they were trying to do, whether it's going to a different page or closing down your page entirely. So this message sometimes can help you to try to talk them into actually clicking on the correct button to stay on your page instead of leaving. So I typically just put some kind of message here relating to what it is that I'm trying to get them to do on the page. So in this particular example, I say, wait, click stay on the page to take a look at some great deals on down feather comforters. So obviously this would be a message that you would want to adjust for any given site that you would be using this strategy on. And then up above, you would want to be providing a URL for a page on your own website. Now this could actually be a page that's not technically part of WordPress. If you had something else arranged where you wanted to send them to a different page, you can put that right here, and it doesn't have to be a page or a post in this particular WordPress site. However, for the purpose of teaching you guys this strategy, I'm going to show you how you can do this and use a page that's actually on this WordPress site, but it'll just be used for this particular circumstance. Now the last setting right here, check if you want exit screen to appear only on your front page. This is used when, just as it says, when somebody is visiting only your home page and they close it down, then that is when they would see this exit screen and the message that pops up asking them to stay on the page. So if you didn't want this to be something that went into effect no matter what page the person was viewing throughout your site and only wanted it on the home page, then you would select this option. But leaving it unchecked will make it happen across your entire website, or at least any page that is created by WordPress itself here. Now, once we have this taken care of, this particular page right here, it's not going to exist until you actually create it. So I would recommend using a URL like your domain name and then simply putting the word wait at the end of it. And then you would go into pages here and actually create a page using this particular URL so it will have something to redirect to. So now I'm going to jump over here to pages. I've actually already set up this particular page on my site. And you can see right here in my URL that I've set it to the same exact thing, downcomforterguide.com/wait. The actual title of your page, you can call that whatever you want to, whatever's relevant to what it is that you're trying to get the person to do on this particular page. Now everything else here in the actual content of this page is what I would like to walk you guys through step by step, because for most people this probably won't make a lot of sense by simply looking at it. Now, first of all, this top section right here, this is PHP code. Everything in between this tag and this tag is my actual PHP code. Now, you can't use PHP code like this inside of a WordPress page or post normally, but that is what the exec PHP plugin is that I had you guys install. So that's why that particular plugin is necessary. It's for this one particular step right here. Now, most importantly, up here you have two different tabs. Make sure you're in the text tab. You don't want to be working in the visual tab to actually carry out this kind of strategy, because you want to be able to access the actual code of this page and not just see it visually. So this particular PHP code right here, it is needed on this specific page because the plugin that we're using, the exit screen plugin, it actually fires on every single page throughout this WordPress site. In a lot of ways, it was designed to be used with a page that's not actually part of the WordPress system, so it would be some other page that you have uploaded to the site, like a HTML or PHP file that's completely standalone from WordPress. Now, for most people that are using WordPress, they're probably not looking to do that. They would much rather just set up a page actually on the same site to be able to use for this particular purpose. So what I need to do is to actually disable the effects of this particular plugin on this particular page. And the reason why I'm doing that is so I don't end up with a never-ending loop. That way, when people try to close my site and they go to this page, when they try to close this page down, so it doesn't do the same thing to them again and again and again and so on. Obviously, that would get really annoying and kind of defeat the entire purpose. The purpose isn't to trap the person on your website. It's just to try to get one last shot at monetizing that traffic before they're gone forever. So next up here, I have an image tag. This is HTML, and this is actually generated by going through this Add Media button up here. Now, this is one of the two files that I included in that package for you guys. This is just a basic image file that has some text at the top. It says, wait, we have some great deals for you on Amazon before you go. So this just goes at the top of your page, and it's large text that is a better attention grabber than just basic text that you could easily type into your WordPress page here. So I've included this picture file for you guys. You are more than free to use it as much as you want to for all of your different websites. Obviously, it's only going to really apply to Amazon sites because it uses the word Amazon in the image. I think that's important because you want people to really be aware of where they're going to end up buying these products from if they decide to click on your advertisement, because you're going to get much, much better conversion rates on the Amazon end once people actually visit those product pages. So I feel it's important not to mislead people, to tell them straight up front, this is from Amazon. And a lot of people nowadays know exactly what Amazon is. So they have that trust and confidence built up in them. So when they see it, they're just like, oh, Amazon, yeah, I'll go check that out because I buy stuff from them all the time. Now, the picture itself, just simply go in and click Upload Files and go to Select Files and then find that picture file on your computer, wherever you decompress that zip file to that I gave you guys for tonight's class. Once you have this file uploaded, before you actually put it into the page, go down here to the Attachment Display Settings. The first thing I want to do is I want to align this to the center. It will be on left by default, but I want it to be hovering right in the middle of my page, just so it looks as good as it possibly can. Now next up is Link To. I actually want to change this to none. If I don't do this, then when somebody hovers their mouse over this picture file, it will actually turn into a little cursor pointer, and they'll think that it's a link. And they could click on it, and it would open up a large version of that same image. Well, that's not the whole point of this particular page, so I don't want that image to be a link. So I simply select none here, so I'm just inserting the actual image itself into the page. Now finally, size. You don't want to just show a thumbnail. I've actually created this particular image for you guys to this specific size that works good on most WordPress websites. And so that's 762 by 246. So I just want to show the full image size because this is going to fit on the page as it is on pretty much any WordPress site that's going to be out there. So all you have to do is click on the Insert into Page button, and this automatically puts it into the content of your page. Now, I already had this image in my page here, but what I want to show you here is the difference between the one I already have and the one that WordPress generated for me. There's one tiny little difference, and that's actually right here at the end. This WP image, and then it will have a number after it. This number will change for each of the images that you put on your site. actually want to remove this one tiny little bit of this HTML coding. This is actually a CSS class. You can see class right here, and the equal sign and everything in between those quote marks are the classes that actually control the way this image is going to look. Well, by default, WordPress will put a border around this image, but I don't want this border there. I just want the image to be on my page plain as it is. So I simply select this portion and just hit the delete button and remove that. So as you can see now, this is identical to the one that I already had there before. So I'm actually going to go ahead and wipe one of those out now. So the last step here, this is HTML coding. However, in the middle of all this HTML, these are actually shortcodes, and these are shortcodes for my Amazon plugin product style. You insert these shortcodes through the product style icon right here, and each one of these shortcodes represents a specific Amazon product, and it will create a product advertisement on this particular page. So I actually have a total of 8 product advertisements that I'm showing on this particular page, and they're being shown below this image that I have put on here for you guys. So the actual HTML code, you can find all of this stuff in the text file that's part of that zip package. So there will be capital letter text where this image code is, and where all these short codes are at, there will be more capital letter text. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Here is the text file that comes as part of this zip package. Well, right down here at the bottom where it says code for wait page, this is all the code exactly as it is seen on my site right here. The only difference is that I have replaced the appropriate parts with text that is in all capital letters. So anywhere you see the all capital letter text, just in this bottom part of the code, this is the portion of the code that you want to replace. So right here, upload image and place here, so you just delete all of these capital letters, and this is where you would insert the image that you add through WordPress. And then down below here, all of this text right here is actually, make this larger so you can see the whole thing, all this text right here is where you put the shortcodes. Now, assuming that you're actually using product style and the same way that I'm going to show you guys how to do it here, then replace this with 4 advertisements, because that's what's going to fit with the amount of space that we have to work with here. Now I'm adding a little bit of a margin over to the left. This actually just kind of centers everything out for me because there's a little bit of leftover space, but not enough room to put a 5th advertisement. And it keeps it a little cleaner looking, only having 4 of these things per row. Now obviously, if you had some other way that you prefer to create your Amazon ads, it is completely okay to do that with those methods. It's just simply not something that I'll be explaining in this tutorial. But you would simply put those ads in the same location here. You just have to figure out how many of them you're going to be able to fit on each row. So this would just be one row, and this is the next row. If you wanted to create more than that, copy the bottom row and duplicate it additional times at the bottom of your list. So copy this row and paste it in additional times if you wanted additional rows of these advertisements. Now, when it comes to these actual ads, I want to show you guys exactly what I have done to create these, because the normal full-size advertisements that my plugin product style creates for most people's sites, they're larger, and you simply wouldn't be able to put 4 of them on a single row. Now, you can certainly experiment with this strategy. You can completely wipe out this entire bottom section right here and just replace it with a large comparison chart if you wanted to. This is just simply one way that you could go about putting the advertisements on this page. So what I'm doing is, in product style here, I'm going to go to the Auto Amazon page first. Now on this page, all I am doing is searching for products that I would want to advertise as a last chance type of sale for people that are going to be leaving my site. So whatever the main subject matter of my site is will most likely be the best choice for these particular advertisements. So on this site, that's going to be down comforters. So I can type in down comforters and simply search for ads. I can also try to refine my search a little bit and pick a category and even sort them by like best selling, for example. So I end up with some of the more popular products here. So I click on search, and this is going to bring up the top 10 results for me, but I can always continue on down here at the bottom if I want to browse through even more of those results. So to start with, I want to find one possible product that I could promote on this particular page. So I'm going to look at this comforter that's listed up here at the top. It has a sales rank of 21. This is actually a really killer sales rank, because this is on Amazon as a whole. This isn't just within a small category. So this is the 21st most popular product on all of Amazon right now. So I'm going to definitely put this on there, or at least investigate it a little bit more. So to start with, I'm going to click on the product to bring up this additional page of information. Now, one of the things that I want to look at here are the prices of the product. What is the list price and what is the sale price? Because I actually want to be including the list price and the sale price on these advertisements. That way it's presented as like a deal. So before I actually proceed with creating one of these ads, I have to start with my category selection up here. Now I would recommend creating a new category, even if you already have ads for these same products already on your website on different pages already. Still go through the plugin and create new advertisements in a completely new category, and it will just keep all of this a lot easier for you. So name the category something relational. You can name it deals, you can name it comforter deals, whatever applies to your particular site, and then just click on Save New Category. Now, I actually already have this category created, comforter deals, right here. And as you can see, when I selected that, it went ahead and selected all of the product information that I had previously selected the very first time I created an ad in this category. So when I first went through on this product and went to new category and created that category, all of these were left blank. So I selected these 3 because this is what I want to show with my ad. And then when I finally saved my advertisement down here, then in the future, when I go back and create more ads in this same category, it goes ahead and it selects this product information for me. In addition to that, it also changes everything down at the bottom here according to the way I did it for that first product. Now, it doesn't actually change these 3 text boxes right here. These are based on the actual title that's available from Amazon. Now, for this particular strategy, I would recommend trying to shorten this down as much as you possibly can. So for this example, I'll wipe off the full queen with corner tab, extra description. That way it just says the brand and what the product actually is. Now I would do the same thing right here. The header title and the link anchor text are really the only ones that it's important for. You don't have to worry about the ad name. Nobody will ever see this except for you. So beyond these text boxes, the rest of these will get selected for you automatically, but only after you go through one time and create the first ad yourself. So what I would recommend to do is use this ad only style. This is going to control how the ad looks on your site. This ad only style, the default one that's set up in product style, it will be able to display 4 of these ads on one single row of your site. Any of the other ad styles, they're not going to work. So if you didn't like the way the ad only style looked, simply go into product style, into the styles page, and edit this ad style, or simply copy it as a new one and then make your adjustments to that copy, because none of the other ones are going to work for this strategy, at least not if you want to show 4 products on a single row. So next up, where it says ad type, I want to select image and text. The next option is my image size. This will be set to small by default, so I always want to make sure this gets changed to medium for this strategy, because I simply find the small images to be not big enough to really give proper details so people can really see what the product is. Next up, we have Amazon Preview. I leave this set to off. Open links in new window. I leave this set to yes. That way when somebody clicks on a link on this page, it opens the ad in a new window so they could come back to my page and click on another ad if they wanted to, if that first one ended up not being what they were looking for. Finally, for show special button, I want to show a buy now button because I'm directly trying to bring a sale from this particular page. So when I'm all done, then I click on create product ad. Now for additional products that I want to do, I just do the same thing. I would go down to another one here and click on it and open up this page, and this time I can simply select on comforter deals and it automatically selects all of these for me, and it even automatically selects all of the drop down boxes for me just how I had selected them before. The only thing I would actually need to do is edit this link anchor text and the header title myself if I wanted to. And then I proceed with creating the ad. So continue through this process and find about 8 product ads that would work good for your site. If you could only find 4, that's quite okay. If you find 12, that's quite okay. Whatever would really work good for your situation is not a problem to use. No specific number here that's a magic number. Now, if you did not have a need to edit these product titles every time you were going through and creating these ads, all you would really need to do is just click on the check boxes over here next to the ones that you want to create an advertisement for. Go to the bottom, click select category, and pick the corresponding category, and then just click on the quick add button, and it will automatically create ads for any products that you have checked. and it will do so in the same manner using all of your memory settings. The only thing that it's not going to do will be modifying those text boxes for you. But if you needed to, you could still go to the ads page of the plugin and actually go back in and edit that text even after these advertisements were created. So nothing's ever set in stone. You can always go back in and make some adjustments if you want to. So once you have all these ads set up, your 8 advertisements, and they're all created in that category and set up using the proper ad style, let me jump over here to the ad styles real quick. This is essentially what my ads are going to look like. The size of them will vary based on the text that's in them and the actual content contained within them. So the size of the picture and the price content. I'm actually going to be showing 2 prices with my ads, so they'll end up being larger than this preview style, but this shows you the basic concept of what we're doing. These are basic advertisements, but they're going to be showing the deal that we have available. So if you want to make adjustments to that, either edit it or copy it as a new one. Just make sure you do this before you create your ads. If you already create the ads, then you'll be better off probably just editing it. And then make sure you publish your style changes so that goes into effect on your live site. So when your ads are all set up and your ad style is correctly assigned and set up how you want it to, then that is when you can actually insert the ads into your page. So you would just come up here into this portion of your HTML code. You wipe out all of the large text that's in the middle of this sample code that I provided you guys with in the zip file for tonight's class. So this is where all of your short codes will go. And you get those short codes by just clicking on the PS button up here. So just click on Saved Ads, and there's a category filter here, so if you have a lot of different categories, you can quickly find the ones that you need, and just go through them one by one and insert the ad into the page. Now, since you probably created all these in order, they probably go from one number to another number all the way up without skipping. So what you can really just do is insert one of them into the page, and then you can just actually duplicate this short code right here and just change this number. This number right here corresponds to the number that was on the previous page that you just saw. So you repeat this process until you have all 8 of your ads inserted into this page. So once this is done, then you just publish this page on your site. However, you don't necessarily want this to just be any old page on your site. I personally prefer to wipe out everything else on the page. So the image and the advertisements will be the only thing there. This even means getting rid of all the other parts of your site, the sidebar, the header, the footer, the page title. I like using Weaver 2. Free theme in case you have never seen me talk about Weaver 2 before. Just go to Appearance and Themes and you can search for Weaver 2 and download it completely free. Down here in the per page options, I just hide the page title, the header, the info bar, the footer, and finally I select no sidebars for a sidebar layout. And this cleans up my entire page for me. So now I publish the page, and this page is not technically a part of my site. People only get to it once they try to leave my page. So just to show you exactly how this works with everything all connected now, I'm on my normal website. So if I was somebody that came in from a search engine result perhaps, and they land on this page, they could continue to browse through my site as they please. They could go to a different page. They could even leave my page technically through, for example, an Amazon advertisement. But this won't actually close my page down. Even doing something like clicking on the Facebook link here, it'll just open this in a new tab. It's not actually closing this page because this window stays here. So whenever this window right here goes away or changes away from this particular domain name is when this exit screen is actually going to kick in. So if I went up here and manually typed in another address to go to a different web page, or if I tried to X out of this page, or actually even if I go up here and click on the refresh button, this can still even cause the same thing because it thinks you're going, leaving the page and going to a different page. So just to show you how this works, somebody's come to my site. Maybe they don't find what they wanted, or maybe they just didn't initially like what they see, and they try to leave the page or go back to a different page. So it pops up this little message saying, "Are you sure?" Now on Internet Explorer, this will be the message that you actually get to customize in the settings of the exit screen plugin. However, on the other browsers, it's just going to be a generic message. So people either click leave page and it will let them do whatever they were going to do already. So in this particular case, if I click leave page, it will close this page down because that's what I was trying to do. But if I click on stay page, then I get to stay here. Now this up top is the image file that I created for you guys and provided with tonight's class. I actually think there is one of you here that was not here earlier when I provided that. I'll punch that into the chat screen. This is the link I just visited on my page just to ensure that you have that. Didn't include the whole address there. There you go. You're quite welcome. So that zip file contains this image file and the basic code for this page right here, and also the basic instructions that you need to carry out this particular tactic that I'm showing you guys. And I believe you already missed the part where I went over Azon 404 Takeover itself, but a recording will be provided for this particular class later on this evening. So now, on this page here, I'm glad that makes you happy, Trina. On this page here, we have our image up at the top. So wait, we have some great deals for you on Amazon before you go. This is something you won't have to worry about every time you go to do this strategy. Just upload the picture that I provided for you and it'll automatically be there, and you won't have to do any HTML or CSS special stuff to get larger words on your page here. So everything down below, these are the 8 advertisements created by product style. Now, the one main thing to keep in mind here is that the length of these advertisements here is controlled by how much content is in it. Some of them have smaller pictures and some of them have larger pictures. It's not that they're using necessarily different sized pictures. They're all using the quote-unquote medium pictures. However, some of the pictures are squared, whereas others are more rectangular. So that's kind of what differentiates the amount of space that the images are taking up here. The other factor is the title text itself. Sometimes you have less title text and sometimes you have more. So the more content you have, the longer it will stretch out those boxes. So try to simply arrange them to where they look the best on your page. And if need be, go back into individual ads and add or remove some text in there so you can actually get all of these things to stretch out. They don't have to be exactly perfect. As you can see on mine, most of them are actually different sizes, and that's quite okay as long as you can get them pretty close to where the overall page doesn't look out of place or anything. So now this is a page that people will land onto whenever they're leaving my page. And again, make sure you use this cautiously. Personally, I find pages like this to be kind of annoying. However, it's really because a lot of people kind of abuse them. You've probably all been sent to new product launch offers where you're not interested in it and you close down the page and boom, this wait page pops up, and you try to close that one down and boom, another one pops up. And sometimes they'll hit you with numerous of them, one after another after another. It's almost like they just don't want to let you leave unless you buy something from them or give them an email address or something along the way. So I'm not telling you guys to abuse that power and to use it in those manners. Just use it this one time, and if people want to leave this page and they don't want to follow through with anything that they're seeing here, that's quite all right. You know, just let them go ahead and go about their way. But at least you get one last shot at trying to monetize not just the bounce traffic on your site, but technically any traffic on your site should end up seeing this page at some point before they leave, unless they click on that leave page option. So this gives you a much better chance of potentially capturing Amazon sales off of the traffic that you're getting, especially if it's that fresh traffic that's coming in off of search engines all the time, and chances are once they leave your site, then you'll basically just never see them again. So take one last shot at trying to monetize that traffic before it's gone forever. Now, are there any questions for me, guys? Anything that you may have to ask about tonight's class? I don't mind answering anything at all.